Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, May 20th, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES after yesterday's digestive day here. We saw prices pretty much stay in place throughout much of the day, hanging at the lows of Wednesday's significant sell-off. And right now we are basically watching the previous session's high. The idea here is that a failure at the previous session's high could lead to a bearish outside day down and perhaps more selling pressure throughout much of the day. Yesterday's narrow range could lead to a higher range of action here today, unless, of course, we stay in a narrow two-day range here. So again, the potential rejection at the previous session's high will tell us a lot. If there's a significant reaction there, which we're already starting to see a double top above that zone, that could lead to at least a retest back toward the previous session's midpoint, which is 38.9975, basically 3,900. That is a short-term target of about 30 points here to the downside, and a failure to hold that level would open up the previous session's low, which could become a bearish outside day at some point later today. Again, a failure to hold support here opens up new lows down below, which could take us into the 3,800 to 3,775 zone. And again, this market's been averaging about 111 points per day on a 5 and 10 day basis. And overall, that could be about what we see today, somewhere between 85 and 100 points overall, just on a very average day. So again, a failure here at the previous session's highs could open up a retest at the midpoint at 3,900, and a failure to hold 3,900 opens up a bearish outside day. So far, today's high is, call it 3,950. 3,950 minus 100 puts you at 3,850. That's an easy test at the previous lows here. So again, we could be looking at downside price action ahead. Now we do have a 2-week trading range that is in play right here, from 4,100 down to the 3,855s. So if there is an ability to push through yesterday's high, it wouldn't be surprising to catch a day similar to this that you actually kind of rise higher like we did last Friday. But until you can push back above 4,100, we're still in a downward trend and hunting the previous year's low at 36.52.5. Here's a look at the NQ. Similar price action here. Again, doji day in the previous session after a significant selling pressure the prior day. We're now seeing early signs of rejection at the previous session's high. A failed new high again could open up a return back to the previous session's midpoint. A failure there opens up a previous session's low and becomes a bearish outside day. This market's been averaging 470 to 460 points per day on a 10 and 5 day split. So again, we could easily be looking at 400 plus points of action here today. A failure at the previous high could open up a bearish outside day. If we start to push through the 2-week lows here, it opens up a move back toward 11.5 and perhaps even into the 11.4 level, which is a 100% extension of the key range from earlier this year. Taking a look at crude oil, this one's about flat at the moment. We saw a push back into the 104 zone, the 105 zone here, which is the middle of the range. We're still seeing overall strength, and this is kind of what I mentioned before. Even if price is moving down here, not the best idea to sell crude during this time right now. Instead, any pullback could be a buying opportunity. There is a little bit of a rounded behavior that's happening here off this right edge, and that could lead to a test back at the 115, 116 zone. Above that area could actually lead to more strength. Right now we're still chopping in the range, still chopping around the FOMC key level of 107.85s, and at the moment here, again, seeing a higher high, higher low day over day with a strong pivot low at the previous month's close. So again, right now showing some strength with the potential to again make a move back higher toward the upper end of the range. But as we mentioned before, we're still likely going to remain within this range, and not the best price action at the center of this range. It could be a lot of back and forth. It's usually at the edges where we see the higher probability opportunities. Now taking a look here at Bitcoin, Bitcoin here, as we mentioned before, is developing a significant narrow range here. We're now working on the 6th day of this development, and again, quantifying this move shows us that we could be looking at a big time move of 10,000 plus points. Right now, on a 6-day quantification basis here, 11,291 is that potential move. Again, even if we don't get quite that much, we're still shooting for somewhere between 8 and 10,000 points of potential action here ahead. That means that if we fail at 28K, there could be an 8 or 10 or maybe even 11,000 point drop into the next area below. At the moment, again, hard to see a scenario where this thing magically rallies right now given the pressures we're seeing. So again, looking for further development here, and at some point soon we'll see expansion that could be pretty significant. Likewise, Ether futures here building a narrow range, again developing that 6th day of this trading range, and this is pushing us up toward about 1,000 points of range right now, and we're sitting at 2,000. So again, if we were to fail, say at 1900 minus 1,000, that puts us at about 900 down below. And if you look here, again, that's going to take us down through the previous year's low, or at least on the futures, but the previous year's low actually on the cash takes us to about 700. So again, building some energy right now and not quite showing any signs of strength. Once we get a breakout, it could be a significant move, whether it's 800, 900, or 1,000 points of movement. That could be seen rather quickly. So again, watching for this to continue to build out and then looking for potential expansion down the road. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Happy Friday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.